Greetings, welcome to Jefficho Films. This 1992 American-British horror sci-fi was directed by Tony Maylam, and this is his best work, because you haven't heard of any other. It's also got Rutger Hauer in it from Blade Runner. He plays a worn-down cop. Should be a bit of a stretch for him. So let's review Split Second. This movie takes place in the future of London, 2008, where the city's mostly submerged and flooded underwater and the police have boats. Harley's a cop, but the cops are looking for him and he's heading to a club. Also, there's a huge rat infestation, I guess because they don't want to drown. So he gets into the club, he orders a couple of coffees, and a chick tells him some very important information.
Excuse me, please, I have to pee. Will you watch the door for me?
Sure, babe.
Thank you. Hey, don't be a creepy pig, okay?
Well, if that isn't the oddest pickup line I've ever heard. We find out that he's a suspended cop, but that he's still looking for somebody, and the chick that was taking a crap is murdered, and on the bathroom wall is written, "I'm back, in blood." Harley follows the blood trail, and we can hear a heartbeat, which is presumably the killer's, but so can he. We learned 3 years ago a serial killer killed his partner, but Harley was banging his wife, and then hit the booze. He believes they were chasing the same killer back then who ripped out his victims' hearts and took a bite out of them.
Sir, all the evidence and research shows that a serial killer of this type doesn't come back.
Who is this?
Detective Dick Durkin.
You sure it's him?
He ripped her heart out.
A heart? What for?
Maybe he eats him for breakfast.
A heart gets delivered to the station. They decide that they're going to test it for teeth imprints to see if they can track down the killer. And he gets a new partner, Detective Dick Durkins. I guess if your porn star name doesn't work out, sometimes you can't change your name back. He goes by the club to think, and then they get a call for a homicide. A 28-year-old man is murdered, and his heart's ripped out from his chest.
This is my partner's.
What is that? It's like an astrological symbol. It is. A symbol for Scorpio.
You can tell that Harley doesn't really get along with people, also that he's being watched by the killer, and the heartbeat is a good dramatic background thing going on. He goes to the shooting range and manages to ditch his partner, and goes to his ex-partner's funeral place, where he runs into Michelle, his ex-wife, and his former lover. He takes her back to his place, and it's a disaster. Also, there's a lot of pigeons there, and he still likes them, just like in Blade Runner. Harley falls asleep, and Michelle notices that he still has a picture of her in his wallet. That's sweet. He has a flashback of him and his partner Foster. When he wakes, he sees Michelle's passed out, so he lets her sleep, and he goes meets up with his partner, plays a few pranks on him because, they're bonding. And they go to the bar and his partner lets him in on a few theories.
I've been wondering why he only kills during the high tide. I'll bet it has something to do with it. Astrological alignment of the stars in conjunction with a new moon.
That's 2 deaths in 2 days, guys, so your theory's already treading water. They get a report that at Hartley's place there's some shit going down, and so they run there, and they hear a scream, and he gets in there, Michelle...
I heard screaming.
Well, the water got colder.
The door is open.
I didn't open it.
They hear another scream, and the partner investigates and gets blasted by a shotgun out the window.
Get down here.
The bathroom there is bloodied and Harley is looking for the killer. Michelle gets bit by the actual monster that's doing this. And then he has another flashback with his partner where his partner just gets sucked into the ground and disappears. And we don't quite see it, but some giant thing pops out and scratches him and leaves a giant claw mark on his arm, Wolverine style.
Hey, Harley.
Apparently the bulletproof vest was enough for Dick to survive the fall. That just sounds weird. We get an awkward kiss between Harley and Michelle before they head off to the station. We learn a cop that's kind of a dick to him all the time was best friends with Foster, so that's why. Harley explains to his boss that he shot it, and he's got a pretty powerful gun that would have killed a man. His partner's actually a pretty cool guy and realizes, hey, he didn't get the heart, so they race to the morgue. It's a really strange morgue, and it's quite creepy because the creature's down there. It's in the ceiling, it's all around them, and I think it's trying to break through a door.
Did you get to see him?
Wasn't a him, that was a fucking it! We gotta get bigger guns!
They definitely got a couple shots on it, but it didn't seem to do anything. So they want some bigger guns. So him and his partner go get some bigger guns.
No. What? No, that's a Megatron flash grenade. You could clear the jungle with one of these things. Yeah. 2. Yeah. Bingo!
Everyone's reaction to them walking out of the precinct with all these guns is priceless, and Dick shares his theory about souls.
Cannibals ate the hearts of their enemies to gain possession of their souls. It obviously believes that if it eats its victims' hearts, it not only gains their power and their DNA, it also gains their souls.
They chill at his apartment and find a heart in his fridge, and his bathroom is overflowing with water. It's Michelle. She's in there washing herself a little bit too much, but she touched the heart and was a little grossed out for it. She mentions to Harley that Foster's mother killed herself because of her son's death. And also, Dick realizes that the bite mark on her means that he's promised to her, and that she's not safe. Dick decides to give them some time alone and go outside, but then he calls them up and says he's going to go investigate something. You mean, go and die. Harley gives Michelle a gun and races after his partner and finds his glasses, and then he finds his Jeep and he's hogtied in there and he's all scratched and bloodied up. Michelle can feel it stalking her. His partner had fired his gun before he passed out, and when he woke up he found this thing carved into his chest.
This is his symbol. We've been looking for a meaning. What if the symbol is just a map?
A map? Give me that mirror.
Maybe it's a map, and it leads to Cannon Street where Foster disappeared. So they go and they find the rat catcher, who's played by Michael J. Pollard, who's been in everything like Scrooge and Tango and Cash. The rat catcher and his assistant take him down into some flooded subway tunnels, and Dick falls into a hole. This name... No. The movie ends with a big battle in the flooded subway where they actually find Ratcatcher and his assistant dead, and they battle this thing and he drops a flash grenade and chooses an odd time to kiss Michelle. The creature has these great claw hands and a venom-like mouth, but then he's got like this visor for his eyes. Maybe the visor's an add-on and just doesn't like light. Well, he manages to blow a hole in its chest and rip out its heart, and his partner uses one of the big guns on it and just blows it apart. And Harley puts a gun to the heart and blows that up. What was this thing? The movie just abruptly ends after this.
Sweet dreams.
They allude to a lot of satanic things, and they have all these symbols of the Scorpio and stuff written in blood, and they talk about astronomical signs and all that, but in the end I think it was just a monster that lived underground, and it even hinted that it might actually have children and there might be more. Howard wanted in on this film, but I hear he was pretty difficult to deal with on set. That said, he had pretty good chemistry with his partner, and a lot of the British humor was a nice change from an American horror film.
What is it about you that reminds me of my mom?
Maybe because I'm so charming.
My mom was a lot of things. She was not charming.
Having Kim Cattrall as Michelle was a nice addition to the cast, as she was just coming off Star Trek, so she still had that weird haircut, playing a Vulcan. This movie had a $7 million budget and it only made $5.4, but it wasn't in a lot of theaters and it had a lot of trouble getting distribution. They hinted at a lot of things, but really it was just a monster movie that was toying with its detective and ripping out people's hearts and eating them, which is okay, that's fine. And it was a nice little backdrop having London there instead of some city like New York and that, and the flooding thing was a nice addition too. So I'd say give it a watch if you haven't seen it. It's an enjoyable film to watch. There's enjoyment to be had, but it's not going to win any awards, and you're probably never going to watch it like a third time. Second time though, maybe. As always, thanks for watching.
Is it dead?
Durkin?
That's a difficult question to answer with a simple yes or no. Philosophy of death is one of my hobbies. Existentially,
Durkin?
Tell me later.
I'll tell you later.